Tell me exactly why raising the debt ceiling wouldn't have an effect on markets, the economy, or states.
Well, what do families do? If one of the parents loses their job, they stop spending.
But aren't those two different arguments? Those are two different arguments. You've got, and you're right. Our deficits and our debt is unsustainable. It just is. And that's a question that through the democratic process, we have to figure out how to fix that. But raising the debt ceiling, that's paying for what Congress has already spent. That's paying for the obligations that Congress, both parties over the past decade, the money that they have already spent. What about the message it sends to the rest of the world? That we're not going to pay all of our bills?
No, we can pay our bills. So what we have to do is stop spending. And we're going to prioritize what's important.
Okay, so if you prioritize what's important, what that means is that if you don't raise the debt ceiling, at some point either August 2nd, maybe August 10th, sometime in the coming days, you have 40% less money available to pay those bills. Not all the bills can get paid. The rest of the world looks at us and says, the United States is picking and choosing what bills it's going to pay. How is that sustainable for markets? How is that? I mean, what if there are companies in your state that have to, they see higher interest rates?
Higher interest rates are going to be caused by borrowing more money. I mean, this is not different than a company. If a company has a drop in revenues, you have to stop spending money.
But wait, they're spending, they're spending, with all due respect, they're spending more money and they're paying for what we already spent.
If you don't mind, I just have to, Governor, I'm not understanding. Christine's probably asked you this 4 times already. We're not talking about spending more money. We're talking about paying the bills you already committed to. Why is this difficult for you to understand, Governor?
Well, this is what we did in Florida. We stopped spending any more money.
If you had cut 40% of spending, what would you cut? I mean, what you'd pay Social Security recipients first, you'd pay active duty military, you'd pay the interest on our debt. Now you've pretty much got up to what's coming in. So what do you cut? You cut food stamps, you cut federal education spending, you cut disaster relief, you cut foreign aid. What would you cut?
Well, you go through the most important things, just like what you do at the state level. You go through the most important things, and then you have to cut back. You have to figure out, what do companies do? When they have to do it, they have to say, you know what, I could outsource that, and I can do it less expensively. Federal level, we have to do this. In the near term, we have
to get jobs under. If we don't get jobs growing, we're not going to have an economy growing, and we're going to still have a problem in perpetuity.
I agree.
So look, even Ben Bernanke says, if you don't raise the debt ceiling, you have an immediate cut in 40% of federal spending. I mean, the impact near term on the economy would be disastrous. Does this have to be done with a little more thoughtfulness than just an 11th hour electioneering?
We've been doing this, and it hasn't helped our economy. We did the stimulus. What's going to help our economy is act responsibly.
And we've had years and years of tax cuts, which are supposed to grow jobs, and that hasn't helped either, right?